I've always felt different. I've always seen things, but when I tried to express them as a child, I was always told to ignore it.
There were people that I didn't know that came to me and said, I have this message that I keep getting that I have to deliver to you.
All of a sudden, out of the shadows, a homeless man just jumped right in front of me. And he said, I'm a soul just like you.
I love it. I wanted to understand the universe and who and what we are and what are we doing here.
Well, we're all part of this amazing soul wave tapping into each other.
This was a major life changer.
You are a light. You have helped me a ton. Thank you.
You've given me the courage to live more from my soul.
Millions of people are awakening.
So wake up with Michele Meiche. Be pleased to hear the best-selling authors and experts in the fields of cutting-edge self-help, personal growth, metaphysics, and spirituality. The soul path of awakening.
Understand what living awake is.
Hello, Radiant Lights. So great to connect with all of you. Happy Wednesday to you, Wisdom Wednesday. I hope there's some wisdom imparted. I know I make wise choices by connecting with all of you. Really appreciate all of you. So today we have an amazing guest coming on at the second half of the program, Robert Wilkinson, astrologer, futurist, and author. He'll be coming on, and we're going to be diving into the eclipses, eclipse season, what's starting, and the retrograde. So you don't want to miss that. And, of course, if you want to call in for a question, that number is 347-539-5122. I'll be getting to questions, comments, if you just want to call in and say hello, or if you want a reading, just call in. Okay. Yes. I'm multitasking here a bit. Just got my decaf Americano. It's one of those days. Kind of a little chilly in SoCal. If you're in the chat and you want to ask a question, that's great. Please do. And if you're in the queue, if you're listening by phone, that's great. Again, if you want to listen by phone, 347-539-5122. And if you already are listening by phone and you wanted to ask a question or get a reading, you need to press 1 on your keypad. And again, the number 347-539-5122. Pressing 1 on the keypad. Yes, 1 on the keypad. All righty. So, wow, very interesting energies right now. That's all I can say. We've got a lot going on astrologically, which Robert will be diving into about that. But we've got a lot that's going on to get clarity about what is it that you're really wanting to do right now in your life and who is really being able to support, okay? Who's going to be supported of you? Where is your real support coming from? There's a lot of, what I got to tell all of you guys, there's a lot of clearing house so that everyone can go to their own next level, which is really a next level of more soul connection. So there's a lot of weeding out of patterns, relating patterns that no longer work or perhaps have been holding you back. Many of you might be seeing this. And I do feel this retrograde, it's going to be interesting to get Robert's take on this. There's a lot with how you think, what you're thinking, what are your beliefs? Are the people around you or the situations you're in really supportive of you and supportive of your beliefs and your direction? Or are they not? Or are they holding you back? Or are you allowing them to hold you back? Or are you holding others back? Right? Are you the one? So it's really going to be kind of like putting the pedal to the metal right now to push you into making decisions that are better for you, honestly. So there might be some tough decisions, coming up for all of you. Meaning that is what you're choosing really supportive of you? Is what you're choosing in life enhancing for you? Is it aligned to your, you guys hear me pausing here, I had to get the guest number. Okay. Or is it something that is, are you doing something, or is a situation around you something that is enhancing you? Is it life enhancing? Is it connecting you more to your soul, living your life's purpose? Is it supportive of the new direction that you're going in? Or is it detracting from that? So though summer is coming up, I feel there's going to be weighty decisions. What can I say? I feel like there's this rest of the year, there's going to be some decisions that people have to make that are perhaps going to put you in a new trajectory. But it's going to be decisions that are supportive of what it is that you really want to, what you really want to know. Let's see, it's supermoon eclipse. Yes, well, that's another thing. Absolutely, the eclipse, which eclipses something in and out, super lunar eclipse, that has a lot to do with the emotions, the emotional body, what's emotionally fulfilling or actually really fulfilling or not. So I really do feel like what I've been looking at energetically, the trance and conscious channel, is that there really is a bit of a split. And I know we see it in the mainstream media. We see it as, red and blue, or, the Tories and the conservative, the Labor Party and conservatives, Democrat, liberal, progressive. We see it in these terms. We see it in racial terms. But that is the surface of it. What is trying to happen is actually more soul cohesion and coherence with our heart center, so that we are choosing people in situations not in opposition to others or opposition to ourselves, or not that one is better than the other, but that more aligns us with our soul and our soul's purpose, so that we're living that out more, living and expressing more from the soul. Now, what this means is that it's going to be the ability to see everyone's life, not just that you respect somebody's life or tolerate it, but that you see it as sacred. You see that the various journeys in life are a sacred aspect of the all that is. Ultimately, what this is to do, kind of in the universal thrust of the all that is move people out of the extremes of duality, out of the extremes of the polarity plane, or duality within the polarity plane. So eventually it will bring us more together, because we will move more into beyond tolerance and respecting. We will move into honoring separate pathways and be finding solutions. But until that time, it's going to seem, and there is going to be more and more of a split with people or situations that you can't just be around, or you're seeing how they're falling up short for you because they're not really showing up for you. Or a job it's not about the money, or you really love a job, but it's not just about being appreciated. You also need something more. Maybe you need, maybe it is for you more the money. So there's not going to be the judgment. It's not like a moral issue. It's going to be what is really of your soul. Are you letting people dictate things or make you do things that you really don't want to do? I had a dear friend that really, vehemently did not want to get the vaccine, and called me the other day and said, I caved in, and she gave all these reasons, and it's somebody that's not even, that's a friend of the family, but she says considers as family, made to get the vaccine. And I'm just like, I didn't say anything, I just acknowledge. And this isn't about getting it or not getting it, but this is a very good example of being coerced to do something that is not in alignment with your higher truth. So those kinds of things are going to, and again, it's not about the blue and a red, or vaccinate or don't vaccinate. It's not about, those are such mundane issues. But unfortunately, they are what's causing those kinds of decisions underneath it, is what causes or co-creates the world that we live in. And the world that we lived in, the old paradigm, was very much based on peer pressure, right? We've all heard it, peer pressure or keeping up with the Joneses. And so we don't want to keep that going. That's very low vibrational. You know, I have this and you don't have that, or I look this, I have this many followers or subscribers, or so-and-so got the Tesla and somebody else, you know, and it's the outer world of status. That's what that Saturn and Pluto was, or Saturn and Capricorn was really bringing up within the structures. Now what's going to happen with the remainder of Pluto and Capricorn, and definitely when it goes into Aquarius, is going to be the big wake-up call of that all these things are not you. Your decisions. Are you off the mark? Are you not in alignment with your true north, your soul? What are you about? Who? Because that's what we came here to do. We came here to experience and express as a soul, encapsulated spirit within a form. You want to look at it metaphysically, not as what somebody else thinks is cool or hip or the right thing to do. So you have to ask yourself, if you're feeling pressured to do something, then it's not in alignment. Because if it's not a pressure to do something or be something or for a particular decision, then it is in alignment with you. It won't be pressure coming from the outside, especially if it's against something that you really want. Now, again, things happen in life and we can change our mind. That's a much different thing. Reading up on something or hearing something, or you just change your mind. That's, you know, I've always been a beach girl, so to speak, quote unquote, or live near water. I have a place now in the desert. Okay, I changed my mind. I like visiting there. That's much different than, it's so cool and hip to move there. Everybody's doing it. So we really have to watch this, because the more that we allow this to happen within ourselves and our personal situations, the more extreme it's going to play out in the world. The more extreme, through the agent of duality within the polarity plane, it's going to play out to get people to awaken, to wake up. It's the more sharp, the more rude the awakening is going to be, if we can't decide individually, personally, what is most life-enhancing with us, what is most aligned to our truth, without denying someone else their truth. That's kind of the key thing, is to not deny other people their truth. Because little truths change all the time. You know, many of you, you know, the story when I was vegan for many years, vegan and then I was vegetarian. I ate so much soy. I loved it. And I read research because I was involved in holistic health. I have been forever. And I was a holistic health counselor, working with herbs and diet, nutrition, and, you know, healing modalities from that. And I read from conventional experts online, in books, that soy, especially if you're estrogen dominant and for women, is not the best thing to have, you know, and that soy can interrupt thyroid functioning. I didn't want to believe it, because I was choosing to only believe all the information that was from alternative therapies, complementary medicine, that, you know, based on, you know, vegan, vegetarianism. I ended up getting a thyroid condition, and I went, and it took many years to find out what it was. And it all came back. You know, one doctor that spotted it, thank you, Dr. Gruen, he said, "Oh, you make enough thyroid. Oh, you make enough of the hormone. It's being blocked. T3 is being blocked to T4, whatever." And then I remembered, I said, oh my God, that's exactly what it said in the research, but I was too closed-minded to see it. I didn't want to, you know, what I probably should have done is taken both sides, weighed it out, and done a little experiment. But who knows? It takes so long to stop something from functioning well. that I probably would have still had to be, and I ate so much soy. My friends call me the soy queen. Everything, soy meatballs, soy milk, soy this. And now there's a lot more research, and a lot of the holistic health practitioners and doctors and complementary doctors, holistic doctors, practitioners now recognize that and say that. They'll actually say, well, soy, and it's processed food, by the way. Soy is processed in most of its forms. Now they'll say, okay, it's not the greatest thing, especially for women. And then I did a whole diet based on the blood type. So I share this with all of you because, see, something can seem so healthy and be so good, but actually be detrimental. But I had the presence of mind. I stayed open. I wasn't like, oh, well, that's it. I'm, vegan and vegetarian, so I can't have any other source. That's it. No, I listened to the research, I weighed it out, and then I also tuned into my body, and then I realized, okay, this is what is happening, and I made choices from that. I don't know how to implore people, please, 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 because you, me, we are co-creating the new paradigm. It's not going to happen magically. It's by the decisions we're making right now. And so the more those decisions are not aligned to our personal truth, our inner knowing, our research, our gut knowing, what's right for us, our body, what's not, I hope if I do this, then I can have more freedom, or I can do this or that. That's what got us in the pickle we're in. That's so old paradigm. So, however, I know there's a lot of questions out there. We're really being called now to do what people thought or romanticized in 2012, which really was 2011, the changes there. As light workers, as way showers. Way shower means that, show the way. It doesn't mean to cave in. I don't know how else to say it. It's not comfortable, I've been there when I've had to say things that have been contrary to what people think or a group. Just feel good on the other side. Standing up for what's right. Even if you don't agree with it or like it, but what is right? What is of the higher action will always be what's best, what's life enhancing. Not just for a few, it'll be what's life enhancing, and not just on a physical level, but a mental, emotional, spiritual level. So sometimes, again, this, especially the next 5-6 years, there's going to be a lot of testing. This month, there's going to be a lot of testing, or June, I'm looking at June. There's going to be a lot of testing as to, are you really living your truth, or are you afraid of speaking up, or being seen in a certain way, or not having something, or having something? Because the days of, everybody's doing it. Everybody has this. Everybody buys this. Those are ending. And it's going to be harder to live with the choices and the consequences that we're setting up, because the soul wants to be free. The soul, that's it. Spirit, God, the all that is, this big experiment of God, the all that is. We need intelligence of the universe is experiencing, expressing as us, through us. The living question and answer that we are. We've played out that old paradigm. If we go further in the old paradigm, we would become extinct because it was based on separation. The only way that I can peer pressure someone is if I make them feel less than. That's based on victim mentality. That's based on master-slave. Because I pressure that person that you're not cool, you're not doing what everybody's doing, or you're not doing the right thing, or you're not doing the cool thing. You don't have the cool clothes, or you don't listen to the right music. It's all the same. If you want to get ahead, you got to do this. You got to go to this school, or marry this person, or live this way. And so you try to squeeze yourself down into this little tiny form instead of expressing and experiencing from the cosmic aspect of you, the cosmological, the universal, the infinite. You pare yourself down, hoping to fit in, hoping to belong, hoping to have success because you did all the right things. And then at a certain point you realize you did all the right things and you still don't feel good about yourself, or you don't. So there's going to be some tough lessons, and unfortunately, I see it like really stark and playing out, because unfortunately, the people that should be leading the way showers, are caving in. And again, I'm not talking. It's not about A or B, choice A or B. It's about what's the intentionality. What's the motivation? What's behind the decision that you're making, the choice? What's behind what you're creating? Now, we're all in this together, whether you want to say if you're the head of the dog or the tail, it doesn't matter, or in between. It doesn't matter, because we are all in this together. The only thing I think we can do is tap on each other's shoulder and say, pause, wake up, what's going on, what's really happening. And if we do, then what we enact, the consequences that we enact won't be as extreme. But Tammy in the chat, those phytoestrogens, man. Yeah, they got me. But much better. All right, let's get to callers. 347-539-5122 is the number to call in. Press 1 on your keypad if you want to get on air. Hi, welcome to Awakenings. You're on air.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing
How are you
good.
doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. What's your first name?
Keisha.
Keisha. Hi, Keisha. What's your question?
Hi. So I called in a few months ago. Well, it's May now, so it's a few months ago. And you told me to go ahead, write a book. It doesn't have to be anything big. Just put it out there. And I actually did it and put it out there a couple weeks ago, which was exciting.
Great. Congratulations. Yay.
Thank you. It was exciting. It's kind of crazy because I expected so much more traction with it. And right now I've only got like a few sales, and I'm just like, did I put it out too soon? I don't know. So,
oh my God.
Yeah,
Keisha,
go ahead.
you do what so many people, oh my God, that a few people that I work with. Did you hire a publicist?
No.
Are you getting on radio, TV, and promoting?
I am actually working on that with my assistant now. We're trying to get some emails together and reach out to people that have platforms and like really get it out there. So we're doing that now. Okay.
Here's what I would share with you, and it's probably just wisdom and also having been in TV and media before. I would say your first book or whatever, any books, just look at it as a labor of love and a way for people to get to know you better. People that you see on the bestseller list or that, they have a big team behind them. They have PR agents. They, like some of my clients that I work with, and they have a lot of Instagram followers. They're paying people to do all that. They have celebrities that have quoted them. That, but they have PR. And if you're doing it grassroots by social media, it's hit or miss, and it takes a while. You're going to have thousands of followers, or thousands of subscribers.
Yeah.
So it's. I know it looks like, especially with like the Instagram fame, that it's like one hit wonder, and sometimes it is, just like in the music industry, but rarely. When you hear those stories of how somebody blew up, usually they've had multiple YouTube or Instagram, pages or YouTube channels that didn't work out, and one somehow happened or one video went viral. But for the most part, it's grunt work. It's step by step, getting out there, connecting with people, going on podcasts, going on local TV, posting. And I would say give it maybe 6 months, but a year. Okay. This is why Seth Godin, who is amazing, you guys can Google him, look him up. And he's had bestseller lists all along, for many years. He's big into, marketing, but he has a spiritual edge. I met him once. I did a workshop with him, kind of a mentor workshop. And when I was signing up, because he was giving a free copy of his book, he autographed it. Didn't know me from Adam, and he looked at me and he said, "You're really conscious. Are you also psychic?" And I was like, yeah, how'd you know? And he goes, "Oh, I just have a way of tuning in with people." But he has said, especially with all this online, he has said people really shouldn't write their first book until they have built up their social media network, because that's who you're connecting with, advertising to.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't go that far, but that tells you something. He's like, wait 3 years, build up, wait 3 years, and then put something out there. So, that's his opinion, but it goes to show you how much it takes to build up. So what I would say to you is that this is just about you connecting, people to get to know you better, and you to share your gifts or your take on things. It's not a reflection on you, but that's the 3D world we live in,
Okay.
All right, Keisha?
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Do your research on this. It's just common sense. And I work with a lot of people in the business world, corporate, startups, work at Apple, all the big, and they start, and it's all the same. No, there's no magic pill to this. It's just putting stuff out, sharing, loving what you do, and stuff starts taking off. But to say just 2 weeks, of course it hasn't. No.
Yeah.
You have more books than me, so don't worry.
Yeah, I knew that. It's just like I don't want to take too long, but I've gotten out of a relationship, so I'm just trying to build more income on my end. I'm trying to build, multiple streams of income. So that's mainly where my concern comes from.
But
if
it
I'm being
takes
honest.
time. I know it takes time. That's what I can say. Thank God I'm old, that I grew up when I grew up, because I'm been in both worlds, A lot of times, and I'm really stressing this because I know other people, and I have clients that the same thing, and I'll be like, well, why should you have thousands of book sales within a month? How many? They'll be, I have 350 people on my Facebook, or 1,500 on my Facebook, or I have 350 people on Instagram. It's not against you. It's just people don't know you yet. You only a small amount of people. So develop the multiple in-stream, but it takes time. You're in at least a year to 3 year process. It takes time to build up. Now, you can gain momentum, but you don't want to look at that yet, because that exponential leap happens while you're building, right?
Right. That makes sense.
So hang in there. Just keep telling yourself it's like a house. I'm building the foundation. Then I've got to build, the framing. And then there's always a little mistake. Oh, I got to go back and do this because this frame wasn't, done right. Or I want to put a new window in, so now we got to take that frame down. It's doing all this stuff that everyone, so much wants to do now. It's foundational. Google people how long it took them to get going. Amazon flailed.
Yeah.
Yeah, people go, oh, Jeff Bezos, billionaire, this and that. I remember when Amazon came out, to support the person, even though I didn't realize he had his father's $300,000, to start the business. No one wanted to buy stuff online. I remember my friends and I, because we're a bit techies, mystic techies, we supported. We're like, buy on Amazon also, this is a cool idea. And it was a crappy website and only sold books. And look where he is now. But it did not happen overnight. It took years for him to have that kind of traction. Even with his influence and the money that he had behind him, it took him years. So this is for everyone. I love, that's why I love, when I do my tech talk, spirituality and technology and, consciousness, I pick these people's brains. Nothing happens overnight. Elon Musk, PayPal. All right, sweetie, so stay inspired.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Hi, welcome to Awakenings. You're on air.
Hi.
Hi.
So my name is Lola, and I'm in Colorado, and
Hi, Lola.
I'm just wondering, I've kind of had a 10-year friendship with some good friends of mine, and some women, and we kind of had a little bit of a falling out, and I'm just wondering what you see on this, if we're gonna be friends again, or is it just I'm not sure.
You fit in with what I was talking about. Yeah, there's a lot of this right now.
I mean, I put out a little rant.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. I feel so. I feel like the two of them somehow are closer.
Yeah, they're sisters.
They're sisters. Okay, that's why. Yeah, so I don't feel it's going to be like it was. It's pushing you to move on.
Yeah, and I'm not looking for it to be like it was, but, I'm just wondering if, there won't be the conflict there anymore. I mean, we don't have to hang out every day or anything, but I just don't want to have the conflict. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what I just said again. It's not going to be the same. There's going to be an underlying something there, and that's why it's going to push you. Even if you talk to each other or hang out or whatever, there's still this underlying thing, and that's because they've built some kind of alliance, which I feel was already there, but somehow you were able to kind of smooth that over or rise above. And it's one of the girls in particular I feel is a little more, I don't know, doesn't want your influence in anymore. I don't know why, but it's going to get smoothed over. But there's going to be an underlying something, is what I would tell you, energetically. There's an underlying vibe or feel. But I do see you guys connecting again. Okay?
Okay, so we'll connect, but we just won't be, like, best friends again, which is okay. I mean,
Good. Good.
Okay.
All right, Lola. All right. You take good care. Big hug.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay.
Hi, welcome to Awakenings. You're on air.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call. My name is Patricia.
Hi, Patricia. Welcome. What's your question?
Yes, my question is, my uncle has a fiduciary who is over his property and his money. And we, the family, we have to file a complaint. We filed a complaint against her back in February with the Veterans Affairs. And we haven't heard anything back. And I'm just wondering, do you see her being removed? And them,
the first thing I heard was very difficult to do. Very difficult. Very hard to do. Your uncle put this person in place, right?
The veterans did. He's mentally Veterans Affairs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but did he give them? He gave some authority, is what I'm hearing. So I don't know if he gave it to. I would say if you stick with. There's something, because I feel like there's some paperwork I can see him signing. Very difficult to do. I'm just hearing that again. I feel if you stay with it, but you're going to have to show, I don't know, they're funny about the family coming in. I'm just going to tell you. Right. And I don't know if that's their policy, but I think it's not going to be easy.
Okay, yeah, we filed it in February. We hadn't heard anything, but we've filed a couple of complaints against her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep doing that. Don't give up. But it's not, because a lot of people I feel probably do give up, because it's like it's a wall. It's like going up against bureaucracy, is what I'm hearing. And so I would just stick with it for the long haul. They may do something where they're overseeing. I don't know. It's hard to get them off of that. I hate to say it. It's very difficult.
May I ask you, do I have time to ask you one more quick question? Stay
online, and because I want to get to, I've got so many people that are calling in, but stay online. I'll if I can, I'll circle back to you. Okay? You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one question, everyone. Hi, welcome to Awakenings. You're on air.
Hi there. How are we doing, Michelle?
I'm doing great.
Hi, my name is Alex, and
Hi, Alex.
I just have, wow, this is so awesome. And I wanted to say thank you to you and those other callers prior. They're amazing, and I'm so happy for their lessons.
Thank you. That's why I spent extra, because I know that it's a good one for us all to take in.
Thank you. And yes, oh my gosh, in the facets of co-creating, and I've had a massive awakening. Just becoming nobody is immensely gratifying, and I want to carry that forward from the prior 3D densities and transfer that into more of the spirit that I am and going forward as. So I wanted to see if there's anything going forward as far as healing or projects that you see for my future, or if there's anything within that healing realm that you can see that I can really help raise the frequency more so with.
That you want to do, that you want to, some kind of project or healing. What are you asking? What, something for yourself, or for that you want to put out there in the world, or your personal healing?
Correct, for myself, for just being the love, light, and truth that we all are.
Oh,
and
just your creativity, your self-expression.
Creativity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Creativity.
And
that's what you need to focus on.
Okay.
Yeah.
May
Anything
I read some? Go ahead.
Yeah, really quick. This call is related to a situation I'm dealing with. Okay, Laura. Yeah, it has to do with the creativity.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
And may I just get a...
Yeah, if it's brief, because I got so many callers. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Brief. Okay. I'll save this for another time then. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Awesome. Oh, you're so welcome. And please call in anytime. Your energy is just so beautiful. And you really just have to get your creativity more and more out there. Just Spirit is saying, just express, just self-express.
Can do. I'll manifest it.
Yes, beautiful. Okay. Please.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Hi, welcome to Awakenings. You're on air.
Hey, Michelle, this is Owen.
Hey, Owen, welcome. Hello.
Thank you. I took the day off of work, and I'm at the beach right now, and I remembered your show's on today, so this is perfect timing.
Oh, very cool. So what do you you have a question or something you want to share with us?
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to say real quick, that was I loved your intro today. And just kind of along those lines, I'm just wondering if you can tune in. I'm kind of thinking about quitting my job, partially, and I want to see what you think about that. I'm thinking about quitting partially because, I'm the only person who's deciding to, at least right now, not get the shot. And, so therefore I'm the only person in a mask, and it's bizarre. So but I've been thinking for a while about not working there anymore. I just want to know what you see.
It seems that it's in alignment for you. It seems like it's in alignment,
Yeah.
And I'm sorry you're going through that. That's horrible. That's horrible.
It really sucks.
Oh, that's
really sucks.
I didn't know they were really going to do that. Oh, golly.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I'm thinking, I'm not in the state that I'm in right now. I'm not. I used to work as a massage therapist, and so I'm thinking about. I'm not licensed here, but I'm also thinking about potentially moving back up to the mountains where I'm from. I have land there, and thinking about maybe, putting a yurt on the land or something like that. Or, but do you feel like that seems in alignment too, or do you feel like I'm supposed to be here for longer? What do you?
No, I don't. I feel like you're part of. There's a group. There's been many people. I call it like the mass exodus. There's going to be just a lot of people that are leaving present circumstances for what is more soul aligned. And I can say it's going to be a bit of a wild ride, but I feel in a very magical way. Yeah, because people will be finding each other. And we need to start these little pods, these little groups, these areas where as people get disenchanted and disenfranchised from the old paradigm forms, come over. So yes, I would say follow your intuition, follow your heart. I feel you're very being guided. And I've said for a long time, I felt you were moving and or also leaving your job, what you were doing. Yeah. So I feel you will be supported. Whether you get little gigs
I have money
here
saved
and there,
up, so that's good.
Then perfect. Yeah. Then go for it and create the life and world of your dreams. You'll be supported and you'll open up to others. I definitely see that for many people. I see people moving so they can live where it's more honoring, less this peer pressure stuff. And for some, I see people.
I can't do it. I was really
no.
Not,
I see people also nomadic. People are going to be living in RVs or visiting places and living for a month, 2 months, visiting friends and moving on. I see a lot of people leaving the city, but more will come in because there's certain people, but a lot of people are going to be leaving and living a different type of lifestyle that's much more community-based of like-minded individuals. So I feel you're right in that flow. So,
Cool.
Trust.
Do you think
you're very aligned.
Fall-ish? Cool.
I think, I think fallish, August, September, maybe October at the latest. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I just love you, and I love your show.
Love you too, Owen. Thanks for calling in. Really important question and sharing, because there's going to be a lot more people listening to this and going, you know what, that's me. I got to do this. Yeah, we have to remember we're the ones creating the new paradigm. We're opening to the new emerging consciousness. It just like history. This is Psychic Michelle, but it's also in the history books. Was created by people. We don't have the next thing to experience unless we have people starting it, doing it. Thank you, sweetie. Big hug.
Thank you.
Big hug to you. Mwah. Bye. Hi, welcome to Awakenings. You're on air.
Hello, Michelle.
Hello.
Sunray.
Hi, Sunray.
Hi. Real quick, because I got to go back to, I've not much time, but I just got a new job, and I wanted to just give you some good energy and love, and I don't know when I'll be able to call in for your live show again because my schedule is going to conflict. But I just wanted to
well, I'm glad you called in.
And actually today, our lunch was supposed to be at 1, but it happened to be at 12, so that's why I was like, okay, I gotta call Michelle. It's the universe saying, Michelle has done so much.
Well, at least you have the archives. If you can't listen live, there's the archives. And what a perfect time for this total lunar eclipse,
Yes. So good. Well, anyway, I'll let you go to your next caller. I love you so much, Michelle.
Lots of love to you. Big hug. Bye.
All right, bye.
Hi, welcome to Awakenings. You're on air.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. Who's this?
Hello?
Hi. Hello? I can hear you.
Oh my gosh, I muted myself. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello?
Who is this?
Okay.
Hi, I can hear you.
This is Katie.
Hey, Katie. Hi. Hi, Katie.
Hi. Sorry for that. I guess if you just have any messages for me, like I'm going through, as everyone is and had talked about, like major transitions and shifts. I just finished Ayurvedic school, so I'm an Ayurvedic counselor now. I'm taking care of my family. I'm like releasing and relearning new patterns, and I was just wondering if there's any particular messages from my guides or my ancestors of what to do next or what to focus on next.
Everything that you're doing, what I get from your guides as well as your higher self, you're in a little bit of might feel stuck a little bit, or like, oh my God, I'm just doing detail after detail after detail. But you are building a new foundation is what I'm hearing, and there's still parts of the old foundation underneath. but you are building up or building back up something new to then bridge into the new with. So they're just saying keep doing what you're doing. It's step by step, bit by bit, but you are on the right path. You are on the right track within your path, and just step by step. It's just a process that's going to take time. There's some timing issues, but more for you, it's about time. Just putting in the time, doing the next step, and it's building. So yes, keep doing what you're doing. Just keep the consistency. That's all you need to do. All right, Katie?
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Take care. You're welcome. Big hug. Bye. Hi, welcome to Awakenings. You're on air.
Hey, Michelle. How you doing?
Hi, who's this?
This is Jackie.
Hey, Jackie. Welcome to the program. What's your question?
Do you see any change with the decisions that they're making at work?
What do you mean, any change? There's definitely going to be change. Yeah. What?
I'm trying to make. I really want to be in another location during the next year, and because I'm ready to just do something more positive.
Well, I feel this year, maybe more November, December. You may know something in October, but I do feel you will be moving on, and whether it's a location change and or job change, you definitely are going to be moving on. So try. I know it's tough. I know it's a bit stressful, but do what you can to alleviate the stress, self-care, self-nurturing. But you will find a new direction, is what I'm hearing. Okay, towards the close of this year.
I'm planning on moving physically to a house. My mother.
Okay, well, there's the move that I just said. Then there's the move. Okay. So just follow through on what you're doing. Right now, there's really no little magic bullet or even if people get and I'm sure, I can't wait till Robert gets on here because I know the astrology probably shows this. I've just been feeling it and seeing it, as a psychic channel, and I've seen it with my clients. I've seen it with myself. I got to put even if you had last month or the month, a jump up, a leg up, a spurt, the energy is very then it kind of seems to clog or slow down, There'll be more spurts. I don't know if it's a Saturn-Uranus thing happening here, but I feel that with you. So you're just going to have to, everyone have the mantra, I'm doing all I can right now, and I'm going to take a break. Right. Okay, this is in motion, just step by step. We really have to do the self-talk. I do it myself. Otherwise you'll go nuts. So I feel that with you, you just have to do the self-talk, talk yourself through it, and then you'll be at the next level. You'll be at that finish line, and then you'll move on. But yeah, it's destined, but there's time issues. It's not just timing right now. There's issues about time. Well, hang in there, Jackie.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're so welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, welcome to Awakenings. You're on air.
Hi, Michelle. It's Kathy.
Hey, Kathy. Hi.
Hi. I didn't think I was going to get on because I literally just called in. But so really quick, I'm calling because I got some interesting news today, and I'm feeling like that I need to make some moves ASAP to do with work. And I wanted to see if you see me finding something quick.
Well, it's been showing you. See, this is everyone. I'm telling you, Robert will probably talk. Everybody's getting the boot. We're all getting the I don't know, the cow prod, that electrical for some of us, the electrical cow prod, because it's been showing you changing that job for a while. So let's see, you get something quick. Yeah, but Kathy, I got to tell you, it's something that you're supposed to be building for yourself also.
Like a business, you mean?
Yeah. Oh. Cottage industry, consulting, helping people on the side, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, I would start ASAP planning. So even if you're looking for another job, which I feel you'll get another job, you better start your one on the side, your dream one on the side. And just tell yourself, tell your higher self, God, universe, whatever, I am doing it. I am moving towards what I really want to do also. I just need a little more time, or I need a transitional job also. Right? So you don't get yourself in a pickle.
Yeah,
whether you call it God or the universe, we do that to ourselves, the higher self. If we're not moving forward fast enough in our own particular timeline, stuff will start to unravel, right?
Okay. Yes. So in the meantime, you don't see any like craziness coming up to do with my current job, right? Like I'll just be able to leave and it'll be.
Well, no, I don't even think you need to worry about that. I think you just need on the Kathy agenda. Get to your intentionality and get on. Don't even worry about drama and external stuff. That's going to pull your energy away. You just need to go, ooh, I got a little preview. I got a little wake-up call. I got a little tickle here.
Right.
You know, the cow prod is like on, 50 watts. You don't want it going to 110 watts or 220, right? You're getting the tickle. You're getting the sign.
Okay.
Don't get into the drama.
Okay.
That pulls you
off.
off.
Thank you, Michele.
You're so welcome. Thanks for calling in. A lot of people need to hear that. All right, everyone. It's time for our Awakening Dialogue and Conversation, and we're so lucky to have back with us. Way too long he's been gone. We have Robert Wilkinson of AquariusPapers.com, astrologer, author, and futurist with us today. Hello, Robert. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey, Robert. Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome
wonderful.
back. Oh,
hello.
We've missed
Just
you.
about everything everybody's been asking can be explained between the eclipses and the retrogrades. Just about
good.
everything.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What in the hell is going on, Robert? What?
Well, we'll begin with me reminding those that haven't read my columns that eclipses are cosmic recyclers. We get 4 to 6 a year. They don't take away anything other than what has already outlived its usefulness. Lunar eclipses, the effect lasts for a few months. Solar eclipses last for years. And we're still under the beams of prior solar eclipses that are still recycling stuff out of those areas of our lives that they fell. Like we had a huge solar eclipse last summer at 1 degree of Cancer. Wherever that is in our chart, we have new allegiances. We have new alignments. There was a solar eclipse last December at 24 degrees of Sagittarius. The Sabian symbol was the bluebird of happiness. That eclipse is removing everything that would block our happiness. So if you've had some losses since December, smile. It's good for you. It took away something that would have blocked your happiness. And it doesn't matter. I mean, we don't like to lose, right? I mean, nobody likes to say goodbye or whatever. But the fact is that nature abhors a vacuum, and, we inhale air, we exhale air, we inhale air, we exhale air. Same thing with people, same thing with experiences, same thing with enthusiasms. And when something uses up its potential, we feel like we're supposed to hold on and make it happen and cling to it, and we get lost in all the reasons why we need to hold on to it, we need to cling to it. And yet, it may very well be that person or that situation was fine for what it was. And now it's time for us to get out of our comfort zone, hit the bricks, and move forward into a greater awareness, a greater strength, a greater clarity, a greater self-expression. And this ties in with what you were talking about, the creativity, because remember this year, every single major event has Saturn square Uranus. Every one.
Yeah. That's
putting pressure on all of us and any planets we might have in the middle of the fixed signs. And what this is, again, what's relevant, what's pertinent, is the choices we're making actually supporting our awakening to a greater sense of purpose, our dharma, our Tao, our true functioning for being on Earth? Or are we stuck in comfortable ruts or theoretical mindsets that might be fine, but they're just not serving us? Okay? Because we all have been put in situations where we're just, we're comfortable with the inertia and things are just going forward as they've been going forward, and yet somehow we have this nagging feeling that there's more out there and that somehow what isn't perfect. Well, of course, nothing that is perfect because we are continually in the making and remaking. We are continually growing. The very jobs we did 3 years ago, we're in a different mindset. We have a different skill set. We have a different set of aspirations. Our entire holographic energy is different after 1,000 days. And yet our minds think, oh, but we're supposed to like this other thing and we're supposed to keep doing this other thing even if there's nothing left. And that's where I always try to counsel people to think in the future, because it's not about what you're doing now. And this ties in with one of your callers. I used to rep bands because I produced music videos. I was a television producer in the 80s. And I used to do music videos. I was the go-to producer in Austin. And I went to South by Southwest to rep a band, and they said, oh, it looks great, it's this and that, but what do you have in the pipeline? And what I found out is that they never want to know what you've got. They want to know what you're going to have. What's out there. Yeah,
that's interesting.
And it works across everything, because I also used to help people with, defining their skill sets so that they could update their resumes and really get the job that they wanted. It's not really a question of what was the title you did. What were the skills that you have? How can you cultivate skills that will naturally mesh with the people, the situations? And most of us think, oh, well, what do I look for? You look for something that fits your skills where you can grow, where you can be part of the team. And that would be true even spiritually, because when we're looking for our spiritual brothers and sisters, and this particular lunar eclipse is all about releasing certain old expectancies, demonstrating certain things, and finding our spiritual brothers and sisters. Now, how can this be through an eclipse when an eclipse takes things away? Well, this one, because it's in Gemini and Sag, is going to take away ideas. It's going to take away perceptions. It's going to take away, because Gemini actually rules our siblings, so it might take away the lesser siblings so that we can find greater siblings, just on a spiritual level. And again, so this lunar eclipse, it just happened. It was spectacular. I actually got up at 4:20 in the morning, went out, looked in the western sky, and there was this total eclipse. Fabulous. Okay, and this is going to last. The penumbral phase was 5 months. The umbral phase was 3 months. 5 minutes and 3 minutes. So what the deal is that we have 3 months, well, really 5 months of general release, general elimination, with a month going in, 3 months of intense release, and then another month coming back out of it. So monitor your expectancies. If something needs to be left behind, leave it behind. There's nothing wrong with replacing obsolete expectancies with better expectancies. There's nothing wrong, but it deals with what our minds are trained to kind of think 20/20 hindsight, and so we tend not to be able to anticipate the unknown because the mind wants to go down familiar grooves. And so we tend to think, well, because it's always been this way, it's always going to be this way, and that is a total illusion. Because all that we have to do is reprogram our expectancies to be receptive rather than demanding. And that's, I think, where a lot of people, they want what they want, and they're going to affirm it, and they're going to get it.
Exactly.
But they don't understand it. Maybe they shouldn't expect that. Maybe there's something better and more appropriate and more in line spiritually with who they are. It's kind of like the kid that they want to be a rock and roll star, but they're probably going to be a great doctor if they can ever actually go to medical school. And they're going to be a better doctor than they would ever be a performing musician. It's kind of like me being a better astrologer than a performing musician. While it may not have been a fun realization to have back in the 80s. I'm sure glad that I pursued what I did instead of the other one, because it did lead me to writing, and I had 3, 4, 5 books done before it actually started rolling forward. Because the first effort it's always good, but everybody needs an editor. And I find that over time, because I do counsel people on both writing and editing, because I am that professionally, I find that none of this stuff is the 10 Commandments. You need to be able to rethink, rewrite, reapproach, reframe the question, reframe the quest. Because some people get all bent because they're in the middle of their quest and they don't see the end point, when in fact that just spoils the quest, because they're going to get there someday. But you have to realize that along the way there's a lot of stuff that's going to fall by the wayside. Those are what solar eclipses are about, because they last for years. Again, right now, since last December, you have to look at whatever has left your life as a block to your happiness. That's reframing.
That's a good way to look at it.
Things. Yeah. And it's not because I say so. It's because the eclipse fell at 24 degrees of Sagittarius. See?
Right.
And we have another one coming at 20 degrees of Gemini, which is going to mean that the old people we used to share information with are going to fall away, and we're going to find new people to share information with, or we're going to find new ways to share information, or we're going to find the loss of old perspectives. Then that's going to require that we bounce our ideas off of other people and we listen to them to find out whether or not our ideas, are we framing it appropriately? Are we expressing our heart's desire, or are we expressing some kind of mental discontent because an old expectancy wasn't satisfied? And realistically, it never can be, because some things they're not where we're supposed to live. They're just resting places on the path. And some of these skills we get, this is not what we're going to make a living and become wealthy and famous doing. Some of them are just skills we have to learn while we're putting in time, figuring out how to fulfill our purpose for being alive. And all of it should ideally serve to make us happy.
Yeah. Now, Robert, how would someone know that? Because that's a good point, because a lot of times things that people do, especially nowadays and creatively, or they could be just aspects of what they do as a career or ways of self-expressing. What's one way that people can know? Is this just part of my skills? Is this part of, or like a lot of people are asking now, can I make a living at it? Or they're expecting things that happen so quickly.
I've always felt like when it comes to expecting things and wanting things and it ought to be this way and it ought to be that way, that's the ego mind running around in its hamster cage, trying to figure it out so it can control the process. Not everything is for us to make money, okay? And even there we have to evaluate it, because I'm a master chef, and I was in the 70s. I ran 2 restaurants, but the business of restauranting was killing my love of cooking. I stopped restauranting. Yeah. I could have made a lot of money, but it was killing my love of cooking. And so I turned my back on it. And now I cook for friends and family, and, but you don't have to make money at everything. All that you got to do is figure out what you love to do and do it excellently. And if you're offered a chance to make money, fine. If you're not, don't get into a funky headspace that says, well, I'm supposed to be making money. If I'm not making money, I'm not supposed to be doing it, and I'm unhappy doing it because I'm not making money. If you're happy doing it, you're happy doing it. If you're not happy doing it, then $1 million isn't going to make you any happier. It's just going to be a burden, and you're going to have a fat bank account, but it's going to be a crushing burden. And this is where I think that, again, I've been talking about this for 30 years. We live in an age in transition. Everything we're building now is transitional. It's bridge work. The technology
Yes.
are bridging technologies. Yes. The philosophies are bridging philosophies. The awareness of our collective consciousness is going to be so different 30 years from now than it was 30 years ago that it's indescribable, Michele, literally.
Yeah.
And that's where because we had, you'll recall, we talked about this last year. Last year, a giant long wave transfiguration began. And with those conjunctions in Aquarius and with the activation of the transfiguration zone at 2930 Aquarius, which is the edge of the great age that we're approaching, we're in a whole different frame of reference, and we're all in transfiguration right now, and it is accelerating. And with the grand mutation, which occurred last December at 1 degree Aquarius, it ushered in 20 years of Aquarian energy. But more importantly, we ended a 200-year Earth era, and we began a 200-year air era. So the age of materialism is going to fade year after year, and air is going to be more important. What's air? It's relatedness. It's brothers and sisters. It's the greatest good for the greatest number. It's fair dealing, as the Australians say, fair dinkum. You know, where you're a fair trader. You give at least as good as you get, and it's all with goodwill. And that's the air ideal, because air isn't separative. It moves. It moves. The same air you're breathing out there, I'm going to breathe when the winds blow it my way. And that's what air is about, is it's our interrelatedness. That's where when people come to me these days and they're thinking about quitting their job or this and that and the other thing, I say, think in terms of teamwork. Why should a team of people invite you to join that team? What are you going to bring to the team? Not just in terms of the razzle-dazzle of your skills and your tap dance, but what do you bring to the whole that makes everybody know, God, this is my friend, this is my ally, this is somebody I like talking with and hanging out with. And that's what I mean, because Aquarius is the sign of friendship. If they're not your friends, you're in the wrong group, because it's group work, it's friendship, it's ruled by the same sign. So if they're not your friends, go find some friends. That's your group. Now, the reason that this is important, if you will, especially at this time, is because this year all the Mercury retrograde periods are in air signs. The one in February was in Aquarius. The one we're coming into now is in Gemini. The one we're going to be in October is in Libra. So air is predominant this year. Now, the thing about retrogrades, and that's why I wrote the book, A New Look at Mercury Retrograde, was to dispel a lot of the illusions about Mercury retrograde. While it's not ordinarily a good time, for example, to buy something or begin something, because it usually doesn't turn out the way you think, still there are things that can be done. And it's always good for a review. The thing is that we got the first look during the forward motion. Then we get a look from a different angle at the retrograde motion, and then it moves forward after the planet goes forward again. So it's a little bit like our initial entry into the shadow zone where the retrograde happens. That's like us putting a pebble into the pond, and the ripples go out to the far edge of the pond. And then comes the retrograde. The ripples come back to center. We get that data coming back to us. We get the new look. We get the new reminder. We get the new understanding. And that's why retrogrades are great for like rehearsing and research and rethinking and reworking things. It's not particularly the best time for rushing forward and demanding a quick resolution to anything. But it's a really good time to evaluate things from many angles so you can understand maybe some stuff you didn't know before. Because everybody wants what they want, but they don't understand that there is such a thing as the law of unintended consequences. And so that the very thing that seemed like a good idea at the time bogs us down to the hip in muck and goop. You know, and that's the thing. We jump into relationships, everybody shows their front porch. You don't really see their basement, you know, until you've been there a while. And that's the thing. Retrogrades give us a chance to rethink, to take a new look, a new understanding before we move forward. And a lot of what I heard your people talking about is absolutely explained by the February retrograde, because it began on a degree of what do we want to add to? What do we want to commit to? And that went on for everybody. We all started searching how to augment something in our life, how to add something. But then it retrograded, and it went all the way back to 12. Well, 12 Aquarius, where we've been dealing with since February, is about seeing our place on the evolutionary ladder, looking up to see who we emulate and want to admire, and how we can grow. It's also about looking down the ladder and seeing where we once were and helping others up. But more than that, one of the primary themes of 12 Aquarius is the need to divorce some element of the past. We've all been divorcing parts of our past since February. No exception. None. So if you've had to, any of your people, and anybody listening, if you've had something leave, again, don't cry too long about it, because it's just not a part of your bigger Aquarian, expansive, future-oriented era. Because we're moving into Aquarius, we're detaching, we're seeing the big picture, we're learning how to be friendly. We're learning not to be bound by all those old Capricorn rules and got to figure it out, and we have to work harder to make it happen. And no, Aquarius is more like just stepping back a little bit, seeing the big picture, understanding that as we grow, we can't take everything and everyone with us. And it's no knock on them. Again, it has to do with how our energy changes. And so the very people that we were once close to, we find, we're not talking the same language anymore. And the mind starts thinking, well, there must be something bad about that.
Right.
What?
Now, it does seem to be like something slowed down in that retrograde, or like a lot was opening and maybe it slowed down. Is that for that evaluation that you're talking about?
It's not just a simple process, because we have all these cycles going on at the same time. So even while some planets are retrograde and we're getting a look back, at the same time, again, because last year Mercury went direct. At 29 Aquarius, we all graduated into a new realm of being beginning March of last year, and that got activated and quickened by Mars going through the Transfiguration Zone in May. Okay, so we were all pushed forward into a new transfiguration. Then came the nonstop conflicts of Mars and Aries square all those planets in Capricorn the entire last half of 2020, which kind of pounded us into shape, if you will. It just forced us to figure out how to concentrate, stay balanced, how to protect what we cared about, how not to take too bad of a hit. Now we're moving forward into this new Aquarian era, and Jupiter has raced through Aquarius this year, and it moved through the Transfiguration Zone for the first time this year, late April and early May. So now all that momentum that started to build in 2020 blew open just in the last few weeks, okay? That's the expansion into the graduation into a new realm of being. And so, and it's going to happen again in August, and it's going to happen again in December. So everything we're doing this year is priming the pump for our own transfiguration, graduation into a new realm, joining our spiritual sisters, our spiritual brothers, in the light field that we all are together. Those of us that are bound to Earth are missing the boat. Those of us that are willing to fly into the air, into the view, into the understanding that we're all in this together, that we are all beings of light in a giant light field, and that all things that are on this Earth are composed of light particles. And the more that we can understand that we are light, and, for example, all shadows are created by light hitting a dense object. So anybody out there that's dealing with your human shadow, become translucent and your shadow will disappear. All that you got to do is illuminate something from several different angles. Again, this is my television training. When you light a set, if you get the right 4-point light, you have no shadow. Okay, so, and that's the same thing with us. You know, when we illuminate,
I love that.
Yeah, when I got the meditation, it's on part 3 of every full moon. It's a meditation on light and shadow I created years ago, because if we can figure out the right way to illuminate various parts of our conscious and subconscious minds, we will dispel all shadows. We will be seeing clearly. And that's the point here. It's not to become rich and famous and powerful and bossy and all this other stuff. It's just to become aware of your truth. You know, your
to illuminate it.
light.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's metaphysical. To illuminate, to bring it to light, let it become transcendent, translucent. The trans, bring it up.
Allow the light to hit the object. If the object isn't translucent, it will create the shadow in you, you know, in us. You know, if like we have a desire, we have a frustration, you know, and we're putting our light on it and somehow the shadow's coming out. We need a different angle to illuminate that issue in us. You know, and it can't be from the familiar, comfortable angle of lighting, because while we can brightly light something, the brighter the light hitting the dense object creates a dark shadow. So we need that, not just the key light, we need the fill light. We need that second angle to break the shadow, to break the plane of the shadow, so that then another whole facet of us is illuminated. This year is going to be really good for that because of the retrogrades and air signs. Again, February was about what do we want to commit to? What do we want to add to? We started moving forward while divorcing the past in February. This one starts at 25 Gemini. It's a degree of pruning, of shaping, of cutting back some things, of doing topiary on our personality and on our expression, so that we are revealing to our world something that of our own, call it aesthetic sense, our aesthetic idea of understanding how to externalize something relevant, or it's also how to communicate with others related to something relevant. And because it goes back to 17 degrees of Gemini, our research, our rehearsals, our quests, our getting a new set of information, a new view on things, this will ultimately lead us in June to the ability to transfer physical vitality into the power to build ideas, the power to build thought forms. So we're going through this transmutational process of raising the physical into the mind power to build ideas. Then the one this autumn begins at 26 Libra, which is where Mercury went direct the end of last year. And it goes all the way back to 11 Libra. Why that's important is because 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021 have all had themes that were created by Mercury retrograde, where it would go direct at the end of one year, and then at the end of the next year, it would go retrograde on the exact same degree, giving us a look back at that process. So, for example, 2018 was about the power of our spiritual ancestry. It began with us exploring the power of our spiritual ancestry, and the year ended with us getting a look back on how the power of our spiritual ancestry changed our lives in 2018. 2019 was about connecting to source. It was about getting beyond the outer and going to that inner power that holds everything together. 2020 was at 12 Scorpio, which is the embassy ball. 2020, we were all learning how to conduct ourselves on a higher level of interaction. We were all ambassadors and diplomats and really being challenged to raise our game in our relationships. 2021 is about the alternating use of hard power and soft power, of will, of love, of mind, and of heart. One alone is not enough. We've had to be able to alternate. So basically this year all of us have been taught how to become more adept at moving between yin and yang. You know, the expression of the receptivity versus the expression of the intention, for example. If your intentions are falling short, stop. Go be receptive. If it's time that your receptivity is not bringing you what you want, then hit the bricks. Get your feet moving. Get out there and do something. If it's not working, don't feel discouraged. Find more information. Find a different way of alternating between X and Y, between positive and negative. Okay, that's the test for this year, is not to stay stuck in either doing or being, but to alternate between when it's time to do. When it's not time to do, sit down, rest, and be. Experience the process of the in-breathing and out-breathing of life. And remembering, of course, this entire year Saturn is square Uranus. It's happening from Taurus and Aquarius, generating voids in Leo and Scorpio. That addresses your sense of people needing to be creative. That's the one key we absolutely need. We need to be heart-strong, more creative, and creative. And the Scorpio is like, get focused and let go of whatever it is that's creating discontent. Because the discontent cannot bring you fulfillment. I mean, you know, yeah, you can move forward at a certain degree, but after a certain point, you can't be obstructed by all of this outer world push and pull, because this life is about us mastering our own equilibrium so that we can move forward fulfilling who we are without being thrown off by the externals. So I think that some of what your people were asking, I don't really think it's a problem that some people are dropping by the wayside. I don't think it's a problem that the deck is being reshuffled. That's natural right now. Because we're not going to have, again, remember too that because it's Gemini and Sagittarius has to do with truth and philosophy and future, there's certain old truths that have shut down for us since last December. And there's going to be some other truths that shut down for us over the next 3 months. We're just not going to believe in that stuff anymore.
Yeah. Now, I love, too, what you're saying, Robert, about the different angle. And I think that's an issue a lot of people are, and because you said that people want what they want when they want it, I'm finding that if the angle that you're talking about, I didn't quite put it in those terms in my own head, but I love what you're saying because to me it really elucidates and illuminates. We got to get different angles. We can't keep looking at the same outer or inner situations or like by the same. And it seems we're being squeezed to get these different angles. We have to look at things differently and maybe even respond differently.
Well, exactly. It's like we can't, if we're going to play piano, we can't just play in one key. We have to learn to play in multiple keys. You know, and there's no problem if getting out of your familiar zone makes you feel uncomfortable. That's okay. You're learning to augment your skills and to express yourself using the right vehicle, but in a different context and a different way. Right. And see, again, kind of to cycle back in, because this is a very big air year. This is the year to exchange ideas, to leave certain people and ideas and interpretations and views behind, accepting new stuff, playing with new ideas, playing with new views, experimenting and exploring whole different ways of understanding and communicating. Some of this has to do with where Jupiter and Saturn are, because Jupiter's led the way through Aquarius. It went through the transfiguration zone. It's now in Pisces. We're all going to be feeling everything. Okay, Jupiter in Aquarius has to do with the vision of the greatest good for the greatest number. Jupiter in Pisces deals with the soul, not accepting abuse, not staying stuck in sorrow and self-pity and ain't it awful and ambivalence and all this. It's really about understanding that a lot of what we're feeling at any given point is generic to the human condition. Because if we're going to feel, we're going to feel everything, which means all that stuff in the soup around us. A lot of stuff that people feel should not be taken personally. They really shouldn't, because they're feeling the weight of human sorrow or whatever. And Jupiter will be retrograding back into Aquarius literally the next time we visit in 2 months from now, okay, because I'm going to be back here in a couple of months. Jupiter will retrograde back out of Pisces into Aquarius that day. And see, we're going to discuss that in late July because Jupiter's dance right now has now opened this huge transfiguration zone, and it's opening up our connectedness and our feeling and our compassion. And then it's going to retrograde, okay, in late June. And that it's going to get all the way back into a part of Aquarius where we're going to have to see how to use spiritual power effectively. And that will be especially important in early 2023 because that's when we graduate into, that's our final graduation, so final exams. By the time March 2023 is here, we are all going to be living in an entirely new reality compared to where we are now. Because what Jupiter is opening this year and next year, Saturn's going to nail down and structure and confirm in 2022 and 2023. And never underestimate the possibility of the universe to throw us a curveball because Saturn is now on a degree of spiritual shortcuts. We are all being offered chances to shortcut the process of evolution over the next few months. And all we have to do is make Saturn our friend, as I explained in my book on Saturn. But it's going to go direct. At 7 degrees Aquarius, the child born out of the cosmic egg. And that's the emergence of a new mutation based in cosmos, freed from local conditions, freed from the inertia of the past. Not born of the usual sense, but instead born of cosmos. So we have something completely new coming our way in October, globally. It's brand new.
Well, love that.
Yeah, and it was set into motion back in January, February. So again, like in that case, for example, some of the losses was the loss of secrecy in the UFO files. Now it's all over the map. You know, I have a feeling that everything is going to accelerate into a bigger picture this year and next year.
Yeah. We'll probably know more the trajectory of what's going on, right?
Well,
in our own life and perhaps
the year
externally.
Of vision, and we are getting retrogrades that give us a new look at vision, first from an Aquarian angle, then from a Gemini angle, then from a Libra angle. So we get the picture, we get the new information, and then we get the balancing and the weaving and the recalibrating. That's what this year is about. It's just being open to a billion ideas and seeing which ones work.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
That's why something doesn't work.
It
doesn't matter if they're not your brothers and sisters spiritually, then it's okay. You know, just say goodbye. Don't think ill of them, and go find your spiritual brothers and sisters.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it helps to people that we're all interconnected, for people to realize spiritually we're all interconnected on the spirit realm. We just may not be living it out or experiencing things with people on the earth plane. That's just what we're talking about. And
well, right, because perception gets in the way. I mean, we've learned separateness based in perception when actually we are all one together within the one life we share.
Yeah. Oh, so well put. Oh, my gosh, Robert. Okay, we're out of time for this, but thank you so much. What you explained and how you put it into words, I think it's helpful for me, so I know it's going to be helpful for so many. Let's just let our listeners know a couple of your books. I mean, definitely the Saturn one, and the Mercury retrograde right now. I feel people right now need a little bit of a how-to or a handbook as to what's coming up, because this energy, though
the retrograde, just make sure that they get the second edition and not the first one, because the second edition is much better.
Okay. On Amazon. So if you don't mind, give us those 2 titles. I know it's in the description of the show, but give us those 2 titles if you would.
The Saturn book is called Saturn, Spiritual Master, Spiritual Friend. It helps explain the dance of individualization that Saturn and Uranus do in our lives, and it's basically a manual to claim your mastery in terms of spiritual adeptship on your own terms, on your own level. A New Look at Mercury Retrograde, second edition, is all about dispelling the illusions and showing what you can do on Mercury Retrograde. And it's got a lot of good stories, a lot of good explanations about the learning process, historical events that were Mercury Retrograde, and I'm looking forward to a bunch of miscreants getting busted. When I did my research, it seems like Mercury Retrograde is great for busting old things that needed to be busted. And right now, Mercury stationary and, ExxonMobil just replaced either 2 or 3 of its old anti-progressive environment directors and elected some environmentally aware directors. So, again,
that's huge.
The old thing is being busted, you bet. And I think it was Royal Dutch Shell just got told that they had to clean up their act by the European Union. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are going to be busted over the next 3 weeks, probably that deserve it.
Yes, and not a great car. I have to wait now to buy my car. I'm buying a car.
Yeah, you can, especially after the inferior conjunction. You don't have to wait until it goes direct, but you should wait until after the inferior conjunction, and that's on the 10th. Okay, and then after that, Mercury starts picking up speed a little bit, and there are great days for doing it. Make sure you pick a good day, moon favorable to Saturn, and preferably moon favorable to Uranus, if you can find such a day.
Okay.
But definitely moon favorable to Saturn gives longevity and gives a good deal. So.
Okay. Oh, I like that. Yeah. I have good car karma, if you want to call it that. They last long and do well. So, but I'll look for those aspects. Oh, Robert, always love having you. It's been too long away. I know you're really busy, so glad we could get you in and get you in again. Yay. All right, talk to you then. Big hug.
Okay.
Peace and light.
Bye.
Bye. All right, everyone. All right, everyone. It's always great to connect with you so much. Wait, what, Calla Lady, what are you saying? Oh, no, listening to the phone and it cut off anyway. Thanks, Michelle. You're welcome. I muted myself, the mic. Can you believe it? Anyway, love you all so much. Thanks for being here and co-creating this. Join me on Instagram, and also Soul Awakening with Michele Meiche on YouTube. Subscribe, get the notifications. Let me know what kind of readings you want to see or any particular questions that you have. Or also connect with me on my Patreon Soul Path community. Love to have you there too. And here every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Call in for your reading, just to say hi. All right, lots of love and light. Everyone in the chat, thanks for co-creating this. Thank you all that called in. Once again, thank you, Robert Wilkinson, astrologer, author, and futurist. You can find him at AquariusPapers.com. Until next time, continue to shine your light, share your insights, and, of course, keep awake.
Awakenings broadcast every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Archive shows available on iTunes. For continued awakened conversations and insights, join the Awakenings group on Facebook. And check out Michelle's blog at soulplayground.com. And keep awake.